Okay, so subtract the two rational expressions. I have 3 over x minus 2 minus 1 over x. Really want you to pay attention. Notice there is not an equal sign. I am just asking you to subtract, so we don't have to solve for x. Again, just like any other fractions, you cannot add or subtract until you have the same denominator, so we're going to try to figure out what our LCD is. Okay, in this case, the least common denominator would be x and x minus 2. Okay, neither one of those had any matching factors. The x is by itself, and then the x minus 2 counts as one factor. It's almost as if there's imaginary parentheses there. Alright, so that's our LCD, so we need to try to force each fraction to have the same denominator. So this first fraction, we're going to have to multiply top and bottom of the fraction by x. The second fraction, we're going to have to multiply top and bottom of the fraction by x minus 2. Now I like to rewrite it kind of so I can make sure I can see what that's going to turn into. Maybe you don't have to rewrite it, but it's kind of more helpful to rewrite it. We had 3x on top of the first fraction, and then we had our LCD, which was x minus 2. So that's me rewriting the first fraction. And then the second fraction, we had a 1 and an x minus 2, and then the denominator was x minus 2. So now you can notice that they have the same denominator. So now they have a common denominator. We get to keep that denominator. We just keep the 1. It's not double. It's the same denominator. It stays whatever that is. And it's the numerators that we get to have. Keep in mind that on top, this negative, we're subtracting the fraction, will have to distribute across those parentheses the same way that 1 will have to distribute. So just don't forget to distribute, which means this will turn into a negative x and a positive 2. Now on the numerator, that can certainly simplify those like terms of 3x minus x. We'll combine into 2x. And I still have the plus 2 all over x and x minus 2. So now if I were to try to simplify this, I've at least made it one fraction. Next step is always to try to simplify it. So let me go and rewrite that 2x plus 2 and x minus 2. Just like we were talking about before, once you have it as one fraction, the next thing that you do is factor and then cancel. Canceling is always the last thing. Try to factor first. So on the numerator, it looks like there's a 2 in common. I would be left over with an x plus 1. That's the numerator. You're factoring that just kind of separately. The denominator is already factored as x times x minus 2. And then you see if there's anything matching. This is kind of like multiplication right there. If there's anything exactly the same, then it can cancel. But in this case, it looks like there's nothing that's completely identical. So it doesn't cancel. So that's it. Ta-da!